Hi, welcome back to the second video in this series of videos about persuasion techniques for sales. Now, in the previous video, we discussed what persuasion actually is, and we said that it's not about being underhanded or about being manipulative. Really, it's about moving somebody to a position that they do not currently hold, but we do it so that we can put our case forward in a way that the person, the client or the potential client, wants to interpret it. And that's key, is to understand how somebody interprets the world, because we all do interpret things differently. We can experience an event and have totally different ideas about what that event meant. But more about that in a later session. In this session, I want to start telling you about the different principles of persuasion. Now, there are 6 main principles of persuasion. And the order in which I give these persuasion principles to doesn't really matter, because yes, persuasion is a science. Like I said in the previous video, you can understand and learn the different principles of persuasion. But knowing how and when to use each one, that's where it becomes an art form. So, the first principle I want to tell you about is the principle of reciprocation. It is to understand that you have to give something before you try to get something. In his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey spoke about the idea of an emotional bank account, that you can't take something out until you put something in, and like any bank account. And so it is with persuasion, with reciprocation, that if you want someone to do something for you, then they have to own the obligation. They have to feel obliged to do something. And this idea of reciprocation goes all across the animal kingdom. If you think about any of those nature programs you've ever seen where somebody is you see those monkeys where they're picking nits out of each other. That monkey who's picking the nits out of each other, he's not doing it because he likes the other monkey. He's doing it so that the other monkey will do him afterwards, will do his back afterwards. That's the whole idea of reciprocation, is that it's about owning the obligation. Now, if you kind of take that idea, I suppose, and think of it in terms of a favor. If you do somebody a favor, you need to make sure that they know you've done them a favor. So, like I said, in every video I would give you some actionable content. Here's the actionable content for reciprocation. When it comes to doing a favor for somebody, like I said, you have to make sure that they know you've done them a favor. Let's say the favor is somebody rings you, a potential client rings you and says, could we possibly change the time of that meeting from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.? Now, most of the time you want to make the client happy. So, yeah, of course, yeah, no problem. You move a whole load of things around. Here's what you do instead. Rather than just saying yes straight away, go, look, I'll need to move a few things around. Give me 20 minutes. It should be fine, but just let me check a couple of things and I'll get back to you. So you hang up and you go and you play solitaire for 20 minutes or, do whatever you have to do. Call the client back and say, look, I was able to move a few things around and we'll be able to move the time of the meeting. Hope that's okay with you. What happens then is that they now own the obligation. They feel, even just on a very small, slight level, they now feel obliged to do something for you. So you're already beginning the whole process of persuasion just by, rather than just letting these little ideas, these little kind of moments slip away, it's understanding that where these moments or these kind of principles of persuasion can be applied. Now, this is a short video. I haven't got much time to go into more than that, but the first principle of persuasion is reciprocation, is to understand you need to give something before you get something. If you want to find out more about what I do and how I do it, head over to my blog on usebecaus.blogspot.ie. You'll find all sorts of different information about how these different principles are applied and so on. Or follow me on Twitter. Get in touch with Twitter even, at the Red Inst, as in the Redmond Institute. But until next time, I will speak to you soon. My name has been Kevin Redmond, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next video where we talk about the next principle of persuasion, which is authority.